Hello and welcome back to Clockwork Dandy Noodles, the channel where Becca continues to break down the anime of 2021. Make sure you guys are subscribed because I have begun looking at the next season. It looks like we're coming in for an isekai summer, not my favourite genre in the entire world, but I think I have 4 anime that I have chosen. I'm going to break down with you guys. I think I've got a good coverage of different genres going your way. Obviously, I have started doing the one day Let's Play, so at the moment working through Devil May Cry 5. Episode 1 is up. Watch me play through the first few missions. To keep yourself in the loop, Discord does give you a notification sent to your phone whenever a video goes up, and you can just be on there just to lurk. Before we get into the very heavy episode, just gonna say that we are on episode 7, so we are starting to approach the end. We have 11 episodes, so I did have to check this one out. We've got 11 episodes, 4 episodes left to go, so we are starting to come into the crux. Whether it's gonna end on a cliffhanger, if I think it's just going to end in one season. I don't think it's going to end in one season. I like to believe there's a bit more material out there because the story definitely seems like it's building, or whether we're just building just to see everyone die, perhaps as well. This is the heaviest episode so far. We finally had our reveal. It was something I considered at a few points. There's a few little reasons why I thought it, because I keep going on about how things didn't tactically make sense. But let's talk about it when we get there and go straight into our beautiful, fun opening montage, which is gonna lure us into a false sense of security, as always. Whenever there's anything happy with the 86, seeing them enjoying the fireworks, I knew that something bad was going to happen this episode. Of course, it is 86. Nobody is safe. Most people are due for the chopping block on this one. I don't even think anybody may survive from the unit that we're following. It's just generally more character development, seeing people bond, and just trying to get that emotional impact from you guys when you see those characters later down the line getting slaughtered. We finally get to see Andrew letting out some tears, some pain of just getting it all out of losing Dyer. Dyer, I'm not over it either because he was such a great character. But that is the point. We're meant to see some amazing characters. These are all characters who are relatable. They're people. They're just like you and me, and they are being sent to their deaths. The death may be inevitable in this place, and we've seen the fact that everyone kind of accepts that it's coming, and especially later on the line, finally watching through this episode, these earlier sequences hit a little bit different as well, but it doesn't make it any easier. So they may expect it, they know it's coming around the corner, but it doesn't make losing people any easier because everybody in this unit, they're all characters, they're all good people. Shin is seen clearly talking to Vladilena during this sequence, much to Karina's displeasure. Obviously, I definitely think she has a crush on Shin and she definitely admires him, so seeing her as well outburst a little bit later on, all just kind of emotion-filled because of maybe this slight jealousy she may have because he's talking to Vladilena, not her. We do get to see a nice little moment with Vladilena trying to bribe her way to get some special ammunition down to the front. I like the fact that he doesn't ask any questions and he does take the bribe because I think that's supposed to be the thing with San Magnolia. It's actually supposed to be a place that's actually not doing so well money-wise. I think I might have read that initially in the My Anime List write-up, but maybe that's the little sequence that San Magnolia is kind of drinking itself silly because the inevitable may be even be coming for them. It's great though, and we saw the supply box in the opening sequence with the fireworks, so it's nice. Just wanted to share fireworks with them. And it's a nice little sentiment as well, so I like the fact that she's actually sending stuff to them now. It's nice to see them actually sending stuff there. Vladilena sequence of her tripping over and still getting a salute. That made me laugh more than it should. I don't know if that's supposed to be the case, so if you're acting major or someone above you falls over, are you supposed to still salute? Because surely that's, I don't know, it just seems like a really odd place to salute someone. We have a few sequences now which do some amazing transitions. I really do like the way this episode does transitions. Vladilena with the flowers, this was definitely a horrible point that more people had died. Obviously at this point we didn't know who had died. But again, it's that foreshadowing, that warning, knowing that it's coming, prepare yourself. But the transition, I really like the way it just happens. It's just a camera click, we hear the camera flash, and then the music pans. It just pans in from one ear into the other. and it goes into these happy festivities. I also love the fact that there is the statue overlooking absolutely everything. All this happiness under the watchful eye of this lie, this propaganda, this figurehead that is just a symbol of fear, something that people don't even realise that it is. Karina's emotions bubbling over as we start to see her yelling once more at Vladilina, telling her that they don't really need her there, nothing's ever going to change, which sadly is the case. Nothing will ever change. They're all going to still be forced out one way or another to die. As we see once still that Vladilina is not yet used to the black sheep, and that must take some getting used to somebody who's maybe not grown up around it, that hearing the voices of people who have died calling out screaming in pain, that is going to hit differently. That's going to hit bad. It really nicely transitions into hearing a child tripping over and crying, just going, it hurts, which could as well just be a black sheep voice. And just seeing the fact that Vladilina is being affected by all of this on her outside daily life. We know there's now been 3 new deaths. There's more deaths once more. Bit of information to put out why that she's holding flowers. The flower visual as well, the pastel colours are all very innocent, they're gentle. Flowers in general are just very innocent, and seeing them is just, again, foreshadowing. Whenever they're shown in this anime in particular, it's just Vladilina's way of remembering, which is something that is an ongoing theme. We always see the way that somebody remembers the dead. How do we remember somebody? Seeing the flowers, especially when they hit the floor, just something innocent hitting the floor, dying, coming to an end. It's a painful sequence, it's a painful episode, it's a very heavy episode. Hearing the fact, especially through Karina's voice, Karena's experiences, telling them that, we experience horrors every single day. Actually just blowing up is actually a good thing because it's quick, it's over very, very, very quickly. It's actually a great death to have. The conversation plays out over some very happy festival scenes, which makes Vladilina actually feel sick. The colour at this point is shown to be very, very off, to show you that something is wrong, something isn't right. It's a contrast, it's an impact. We have a happy scene with a very sad context and audio. Our unit is slowly shrinking. The people are irreplaceable, they're not being replaced, and this is a few warning signs now because there's still a military. San Magnolia still is a military. The fact that they're choosing not to replace a unit which is apparently defending something very important should be ringing a few little alarm bells there. The stress on the unit beginning to show as people are disappearing a bit more. Shin is tired, he's getting more and more stressed. Getting another member as well, when she was saying, I'll get you another member, all I really was thinking was, if you get another member, it's just going to be another sacrifice. So I can kind of see why they weren't really impressed. Obviously, they're not impressed at this point because they know it's not going to happen. They know the truth at this point and no one's telling her the truth. But it is just another sacrifice. Why would you be happy just to have somebody else you're going to get to know and then they're going to die? The sequence with the uncle just being just annoyingly harsh and knowing that he's just I don't like him. Like, I thought he was supposed to be a bit like her dad, but he's not. He's nothing like her dad. And obviously him not telling her the truth, definitely not saying what's going on because he knows that she's going to react. He knows that if he suddenly tells her, oh yeah, we're not going to give you a new unit until you've killed off your own unit, that's a horrible thing. And I really don't like this guy at all. I was annoyed initially. I was like, well, if he's not going to send in more people, it's just a really bad tactical move. It still is a bad tactical move. You're going to run out of people eventually. You're just going to be throwing people in who can't even fight. He must know that they're running out of people. They can't be that stupid. They know they're running out of people. They have to know they're running out of people. If anything, they should be panicking that they're running out of people. Vladilina gets the reality hitting her as well, that it's simply just her job to dress up. You must, make an impression because you're from a very high-class family. She really doesn't want to go. We know she doesn't want to attend, but I love the way that she kind of sticks up a finger to the man. It's like, stick one up. They do still have the money for lavish parties, so I guess they still have some money, but again, they don't want to pay out and defend the people of their own place, their own country. But Vladilina's sarcastic response to black mourning dress, I love it. I actually love the way she's kind of sticking one up to them. She doesn't want to dance. She doesn't want to be there. She doesn't feel it's necessary to even celebrate. What the hell are you even celebrating? So I like the way that she's gone, screw it. I'm going to wear black. Shin calling Vladilina because she didn't check in on her normal time. I love it so much because it just shows that He didn't need to do this. Definitely didn't need to check up on her whatsoever. He's warming. He's definitely doing something that he doesn't need to do, and he wouldn't do that if he didn't want to do that. We see a beautiful visual of Vladilena looking out behind a glass, looking away from the society that she doesn't want to be with. She is trapped behind the glass in the side that she's trapped with the society that she cannot get out of. The special ammunition fireworks has finally arrived. She really just wanted to give them something to enjoy, something to celebrate, something to make their lives just a bit nicer. Again, some of these people, that may just be the highlight of their lives. If they've lived in camps, they've never seen this kind of thing. That really is just going to be their highlight. The light pollution in the city really is its big downfall. Seeing the fireworks is really pretty. But then there's the foreshadowing with her going, let's watch it together when you leave the army. Let's do it when the war is over. It's not going to happen, especially knowing what's coming up and the big reveal coming our way. It's all just foreshadowing, and knowing that she's now saying this to somebody who knows, there is not going to be a together. We're never going to sit together and watch anything. It's painful. The scene hits harder. Throughout the entire first half, mainly most of this episode as well, it is just Hiroyuki Sawano on a piano, playing a lot of piano versions. It's beautiful. It really relays the mood. He is such a good pianist and composer. Anju able to get those emotions off her chest. We referenced the sequence where Anju was crying and getting some emotions off her chest. Vladilena link, which I mentioned last week, wondering if she'd be the link between Shin and his brother, kind of confirmed here a little bit as well, because he says that you remember him and I can't do that. It's the link that she is able to kind of give him information on his brother, which actually allows to have moments like this. This is our quiet moment. This is our quiet moment to breathe before the twist later on, the big reveal. Will you remember us as well? Because they're all going to die. We know they're all going to die. We get the opening song played as an instrumental. I think the opening song is called Avid. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment with her reaching out, because she will. She has a resolve to never let anyone die, but it's a resolve that you can't do anything about. You can't change anything. We see a flip side of them receiving the fireworks, and again, just showing how useless the situation really is. Just seeing that Shin is actually interacting with people, physical people from San Magnolia, people from that place, and they can see they're people. They can see they're actually human. They know they're not unmanned drones, but they choose to see them as nothing more than animals. Nothing is actually going to change, because there's no way you can change this attitude. I don't see how she's actually going to bring about a happy ending to this story. I can't show the shower sequence, but Anju showing us something very, very tragic and horrific through her hair. I kind of figured, because I initially have said a few times that she looks really close to the San Magnolia Alba standards. She's got the hair, everything. She could be Vladalena's kind of clone, but the eyes are the wrong colour. It was a hint initially that something quite unsavoury was going on, and I definitely think I know what they're referencing at the end. The girls start to debate whether they should tell Vladilena. Nobody is telling Vladilena because she's a good person. They're worried about her. It's the truth. They don't want to tell her we're all going to die. We don't want to tell you essentially that this is a death squad and they're the ones being put to death, because they do know she's a good person. They understand she's a good person. They do realise that there are good people and bad people in both sides. The silver hair on Anju, we get a nice little moment where she said that Daya just saw her as really pretty. She was obviously trying to cover up that horrific, tragic reminder of the cruelty of San Magnolia, but Daya really did just see her as pretty, and losing Daya did allow her to open up to Karena. It's a nice little sequence. So who is going to carry Shin's heart? The moment that Karena tells us that Shin is carrying all of them, carrying them forward in death. The Reaper is almost a sign of hope for these guys, because they know he's got their backs. But who's going to carry him? And I believe that is going to be Vladilena. I do think it will be Vladilena laying flowers at some point for him. Whether they ever meet in person is going to be a question. A lot of the promotional material for the anime shows them back to back, but never facing. So whether he's going to die without ever seeing her, ever knowing her looks, and she's going to lose him without ever meeting him, ever seeing him in person, making it even more painful that this person who you experienced a relationship essentially with over calls, getting to know them, getting to bond with them and care for them, It's going to be over in a flash of an eye and you're never ever going to meet. Fallen feather visual, leading us now into our war sequence. It's a death sequence. We know it's a death sequence. We're about to lose a lot more people. This is probably the most amount we've seen lost. The feather generally is a sign of freedom. It's a sign of hope and innocence. This is a black feather floating in water, which may as well be blood at this point. It is symbology, showing you that death is approaching. Death of innocence, a loss of hope. More life is lost in this decoy attack. A new cannon has made its way forward, and this is it. This is definitely going to be here. It's Shepherd. It's the Shepherd. We know it's the Shepherd because we see in a quick link with Shin linking to his brother, definitely his brother, and Shin smiles. The first time we've probably seen him properly smile. There's a smile there before the mission is even pulled as well. There is then, of course, the reveal. Nobody is coming. This, my friends, is an execution ground. This is the secret everybody's been trying to keep away from her because they see she's a good person. Nobody will be replaced until this entire unit is wiped out, which really is just a military fail on that behalf as well. Why would you send people who are living that long just to the death? Just keep throwing them at useless situations. Surely if you wanted to actually wipe out the enemy, wipe and make your own people safe, you would use these people who have got a lot of experience behind their belt and you would put them into good use. You would try and actually turn the sequence of war. You are simply just killing people for no reason. This is a massacre, nothing more. It is pointless and it is cruel. No one is ever going to come, and it's sad because are you just going to get down to having 2 units, 2 people left, and you're just going to throw them into something you know they're going to die? You're just basically waiting for them to die. What happens when there's just one person left and we're just waiting? At that point as well, how is the uncle going to hide it? You've got one person left. Oh, we're not sending you any units just yet. He can't. He's lying to her. And at that point, he really would have to say the truth. Sam Magnolia has no intention of letting them go, letting them enter. Anybody who has lasted long enough is sent to this squad because they are put into the worst fighting area, the worst situations ever, because they know they're going to die. Nobody is ever going to return. Vladilena asks them, why do you fight? Why don't you just rebel? Why don't you kind of attack us back? But the thing is that they have people. There are good people in the city. There's also the idea of why would you sink as low as San Magnolia? Why would you want to sink that low and let them all die? Because they do say that some people were raised by people from District 9. They were raised by people from different districts. So there were some good people. Obviously as well, we know there were some really bad people as well. They do say there was a lot of abuse. I do believe that Anju may be the product of that abuse. We just say that they are human. They want to exercise the fact that they're more human than the people of San Magnolia because they don't want to let people die. Even if it means that they too will die. They know they're going to die. They want to die on their own terms. You want to go down fighting. You want to go down with a moral victory knowing that you did the right thing, regardless of who was sending you there. They may die, but they are going to be the ones who choose out exactly how they go out. Next week, I think we have a preview of the Shepherd unit, perhaps. It definitely looks like it's coming out and doing a lot of damage. This may be us closing in on the fact that maybe we are going to find Shin's brother really, really quickly. He seems to be wiping out a different unit entirely. Maybe this is a short anime. I don't know how much manga there is for this anime. Maybe it is going to be over quite quickly. Maybe we are going to get an actual ending this sequence as well. It's a very happy episode. It was also something that I was starting to piece together myself. Just with things like there didn't really seem to be any logic behind the military movements. Again, not throwing resources where they should be. It didn't seem like San Magnolia was fighting seriously at all, which is a stupid move to them as well. Because at some point, the people of your city, the people you're trying to live this luxury life, they're gonna either have to be thrown out as well. You're gonna have to start throwing people you don't really want in your own society out, or you're gonna get an invasion. You're gonna become overrun. You're not taking the enemy seriously enough. Even if you did believe it was over in 2 years, the way you're getting through people is so quick. You're gonna run out of people. It didn't logically make sense to me. A heavy reveal. It also just kind of gives me that sinking feeling that this may be an anime where we have a sad ending. Maybe this is an anime where we don't have a happy ending at the end. It's going to end up with maybe everyone dying, or because I don't physically see how Vladilena can change the entire perspective of a nation who just doesn't care, who doesn't want to care. So it does seem like we might all be crying at the end of this one. Whether we end the sequence in one series or whether there's going to be a couple of seasons, I don't think so. It's sad. I like 86, but it is that kind of I'm in on an emotional roller coaster where the roller coaster is about to implode at the end and there's no getting off. It's a great episode. There's some really nice moments. There's very quiet moments. There's horrible moments. It's a emotional roller coaster nonetheless. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys too are enjoying the anime, but it's not getting too much to you guys. It's quite heavy, this one. And I will see you guys again soon. Make sure you are keeping yourselves safe. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.